Hey, what's happening out there, YouTube? This is Carlos C&L Small Engine Repair and Lawn Care. Sitting in the office today, man, doing the spring stock up order. Let me tell you guys, in my opinion, this is one of the most stressful parts of the business. Because, man, you have done, hopefully, you know, following my other videos, you've looked and seen what you needed as far as what's being sold in your area. Around here, there's a ton and ton and ton of Briggs and Stratton. Um, I know some of your newer machines, it seems like Kohler is kind of doing more, but not really. I don't know. It's just, you can't really ever tell. I mean, you don't know whether it's going to be Briggs and Stratton, you're going to do more Briggs and Stratton than you're going to do Kohler, or vice versa, or what. Um, the reason that Briggs and Stratton is so big around here is because we used to have a Sears until they closed. Well, Sears sold Craftsman. Well, Craftsman are notorious for Briggs and Stratton. I mean, if you've got a Craftsman mower, most of the time you're going to have a Briggs and Stratton engine on that thing. So Briggs and Stratton seems to be like the king around here just because, think of this, guys. It's good to know what's on your newer mowers out there, as I've said in the past, but unless you're doing warranty work, you're not going to get a whole lot of new mowers in there. I mean, some guys might come in and have you do some oil changes and stuff like that, and that's basically what we're going to go over today is your maintenance stuff. Um, and I'm going to give you like a little preview of what C&L's ordering this year. But, this is just spring stock up. Now, I've got stock left over from last year a little bit. So, um, I won't be, there's some of these things I'm going to go over that I don't have to order because I've still got some of it. Now, I will give you one piece of advice. When you go to ordering these parts, watch how much you're spending on them because, man, it can get out of control in a hurry. I know that when guys become new dealers, and I've done it myself, you're like a kid in a candy store. Man, you open that website up, or you get that catalog and you're like, oh, looky here, man, look what all I can order. The thing isn't all what you can order, it's what you're going to use. Now, your spring stock up is just that. All you're doing is stocking up your spring stuff, what you're going to use in the spring. I know some bigger shops than mine, they go ahead and order like spindles and belts and blades and things like that. And I mean, I do too, but just not on as big as thing. I mean, I know a guy, he orders like 100 blades at one time. He's getting whatever the company, the top selling belts, the ones that's most used from last year, he'll order that stock, and he gets all these perks off of it because, like, if you've become a dealer through, Power Distributors or Gardner or Rotary, like I talked about last time. Actually, guys, while I'm on that, I got in with Stens. So somebody sent me a thing and asked me if I'd ever used Stens. Well, I hadn't, but they're very easy to work with too, man. It's just like you're in. Fill out their thing online, send it in. The lady called me the next day. Bam, it was done. It was over with. I can get Stens parts now, and these aftermarket companies are going to be really good for you. So let's get into this. What is C&L ordering this year? Just to give you a little example. And look, guys, you got to remember, you got to figure out what's used in your area. Okay? Straight off the bat, these are things that you're going to need. Me, myself, I'm ordering 4 cases of 1030 oil. I'm ordering 4 cases of 30 weight oil. I'm ordering 2 cases of 520 oil because you're just not going to use that 520 but on this newer stuff. Now, also, through Power Distributors, I'm in with Opti, which is Opti 2 oil. And they just come in a little pouch for your 2-stroke mix, your 2-cycle mix. Now, I'm ordering a box. Okay, this is stuff. Some of this stuff is going to be what your customers buy when they come into your shop, okay? So I'm ordering 96 pouches of Opti 2 oil. And it's just a pouch, pour it in your gas, into 1 gallon of gas, shake it up for your trimmers and stuff like that. And people will buy this stuff. And you get it, if you order it for like 96 96 of them. I think, I'm not sure exactly what it is. I didn't write it down. But I'm thinking you get it like $1.50, $1.80, something like that. You know, you can sell it for $2.50. It's just really something to have there for your customer when he comes to pick up that new trimmer. Plus, I use this stuff like when I mix the two-stroke gas in my shop. You know, because don't ever trust the gas that a customer brings in his machine. Empty that junk immediately. Like if you're going to redo carburetors and stuff like that, rebuild carburetors or it won't start or whatever, just start off with fresh gas. So you've always got your mix there, and this way I can just grab a pouch off, dump it in a gallon of gas, put a gallon of gas in it, shake it up, and I'm good to go. Plus, when that customer comes in, you can tell him, now your carburetor is tuned, it's adjusted to this oil, because the thicker the oil, the more oil you use, the more air you're going to have to put to it. It's just different combinations. So a lot of times they'll buy this stuff, and it's just something really for them. I'm getting 96 of them. Now, your maintenance kits. Now, you heard me say how many cases of oil I'm getting. That's because when I do engine work, I drain the oil. Of course, you know, if you're going to get into the engine and you're going to have to drain the oil to get in the engine, there you go. You also, these maintenance kits come with your spark plugs, your air filter, oil filter, fuel filter, and your oil. So, as far as your, we're getting so many from Kohler and so many from Briggs. This is where it goes back, guys, to knowing what's in your area. Because if you buy these maintenance kits, usually these maintenance kits are going to cost you between 25 and 30 bucks. Now, you can sell them things for 40. Okay, if they're the do-it-yourselfer, you can sell them for 40. So what I usually do is I buy 10 from Kohler, 10 that fits Kohler, and 10 for Briggs and Stratton. And I kind of mix, you know, 3 or 4 here, 2 here, 1 here, you know, that kind of stuff. Because some of your engines are rare, you're not going to see a lot. I can tell you right now, like your Kohler Courage, go ahead and just order you like 4 of them, because that's a very popular engine. Another thing that you want to order while you're in the Kohler line is the valve cover for the gaskets for the Kohler Courage. That Kohler Courage, man, leaks like a sieve. I mean, if you watch my videos before, it's a V-shaped valve cover gasket, and they're terrible for leaking. And I guarantee you're going to need it. Just go ahead and get you 2 of them. Just go ahead and get you 2. You're going to need it. In the spring, you're going to need it. These are things that when people bring their machines in, they say, I need an oil change. You go to change oil, look. If you can see where the oil has been running down the block, dripping on the muffler, on the valve cover, go ahead and change it. Go ahead. You know, I mean, some customers may want you to call them and say, hey, man, you know, your valve cover's leaking. You want me to change it? And you always get that one guy says, nah, just tighten it down. No, it's cork. Tightening it down don't, just keeping it, you know, just keep tightening it and tightening it and tightening it. Don't help the leak, okay? A lot of times they'll just make it worse. Remember, with a cork gasket, you can't just tighten it down as tight as it'll go. You'll crush the cork and it won't. But anyway, that's another video. Get you some Kohler. And they're all the same, the part number. I wish I had the part number with me, but I don't. And it's just a V-shaped valve cover gasket on the Courage engine. The Commands, the 7000 series, those are, especially that 7000 series. Now, I'm a Briggs guy through and through, guys, but now that 7000 series is a heck of an engine. So go ahead and get you maybe 1 or 2 maintenance kits for that, because this is going to be you guys coming in that's wanting their mowers tuned up, is all that is. It's not like, you know, it's not like you're going to use those things year round, because you're not. A lot of your guys are going to come in, they only change your oil once a year in their mowers and stuff like that, because they're homeowners, man. They're not putting a whole lot of hours on it. A lot of these guys are doing good to change their oil once a year. Trust me. I'm just telling you. But get you some of those. You might want to get some of the oil drain kits that come with the hose, and change that plug in there, because this is why I do it. I order about 10 of those a year, and the reason being, because they're probably going to bring that machine back to me next year. And it's a lot simpler for me to just put the hose on there, turn it, pull, oil drains. Okay? It's a lot easier that way. Instead of having to take the plug out and it draining and dripping and making a mess all over everything on these riding mowers and stuff. I mean, but anyway, get you some of those. Spark plugs. Okay, here we go. Let's go back to the maintenance kits for a minute. On your Briggs, you're going to want to get the maintenance kits for your V-twins and your single cylinders, just like Kohler, but more so on your V-twins, because your V-twin engines is what's going to be mostly on your riding mowers. Now, your real small mowers, or their older ones, they used a lot of single cylinders, but Briggs has went mostly to, if they're putting it on a riding mower, it's going to be a V-twin. So get your V-twin maintenance kits. You know, you're going to get 2 quarts of oil, 2 spark plugs, air filter, pre-air filter, fuel filter, oil filter is what you're going to get out of that. So get you some of those. Spark plugs. I like, in my own equipment, I run NGKs. Okay, that's just how I do. But in the shop, a lot of people don't want to pay the price for that NGK. Some of your older guys don't know what NGK is, and they will ask you what kind of spark plug you use. If you come off with NGK, they think NGK is some kind of knockoff aftermarket Chinese crap. Okay, I'm just telling you. In my opinion, they're the best plug out there. But Champion makes a good plug too, and that's what I run's Champion. So I can tell you right now, I'm getting 24, which they come in packs, of the RC12YC. That's what most of your riding mowers are going to run. Now, your smaller stuff is going to be a C, these are Champion numbers, a Champion CJ8Y. I'm getting 24 of them. Now, like I said, your maintenance kits comes with these spark plugs. So you're not going to use a whole lot of these spark plugs on your maintenance kits. You might. It depends on how many maintenance kits you order. But if you don't want to order the maintenance kits and you're kind of leery of that, just remember, it's cheaper by the pack, guys. It don't have to stay in that pack. You can always reach up in there and get that. But those might not be Champion plugs, or they might not be a certain brand that somebody wants. But don't be like a candy store either. Don't let customers come in and say, well, I want NGK plugs only, or I want Autolite plugs only, or I want... No, this is what my shop uses, is Champion plugs. Okay, they're a good plug. This is what we use. I'm not running a candy store here. I'm not going to have every little piece of certain brand that you want. Now, for some of my lawn care guys, if they come in and say, hey, look, man, can you get me a case of NGK plugs for my, my Echo trimmer? Yeah, I'll order it for them. But they're going to buy the whole case when they come back. I ain't going to, and most of them do. Lawn care guys are the guys that'll come in and buy a whole case of oil off of you. They'll buy, a whole gallon of 2-stroke oil. They'll buy, a couple air filters, a couple fuel filters, and they keep this stuff on their trucks. So when them guys come in, okay, your commercial guys, when they come in, if they want a certain brand, you order it. Because if you don't order it, somebody else will. And then they'll take that business. Air filters. You got to mix them up again, guys. I mean, I understand that maybe somebody's out there's got a shop big enough they can order, 24 of every air filter out there. Okay, my shop's not that big. So mix them up, but I'm getting 24 air filters. Okay, I'm getting 24 oil filters. What I'll do is I'll buy 12 air filters from Kohler and 12 air filters from Briggs. And I'll mix those up different sizes. There's only like 2 or 3 on Briggs, man. If it's a Briggs and it's got an oil filter on it, it's pretty much going to run the same oil filter. Same thing with Kohler. Now we get into the nuts and bolts, man. Now, if you want to go to the point of buying carb kits, rebuildable carb kits, just remember one thing. You may use that kit and you may not. Now, if you let that kit sit on the shelf for so long, I don't care what you got it in, okay? They're going to dry out. That's just the name of the game. Then they're not going to be worth nothing. They're done. When that diaphragm gets all stiff and everything, it ain't worth nothing. There comes my grandson in the door. Out, dude. Out. Let me finish and I'll be back. Yeah, I know. Okay, buddy. I'll be right there. He's like almost 3, man. But anyway, your carb kits. Now, they make an assortment pack of your carb kits. And what it's going to be is like if you want to buy like 10 diaphragms for your smaller stuff, they're pretty much going to be the same diaphragm. Order you 10 diaphragms. There's nothing wrong with that. Order you, 10 needles. These things are super cheap, man. Like for your needle on your float controls. Hopefully, I shouldn't have to explain this if you're this far along and you're buying parts. But get you some needles. Get you an assortment of needles, an assortment of diaphragms, an assortment of gaskets. Now, these little kits will probably cost you $20 or $30, but there'll be a bunch of stuff in it. Sometimes you can buy a carburetor rebuild kit assortment, and they'll have diaphragms, gaskets, and needles, different kinds. Get you a set of those. Now, miscellaneous tools. Miscellaneous tools. This is just stuff that you're going to keep around the shop for your customers to buy when they come in. Go ahead. Well, too, that you're going to have gas lines. Before I get to the miscellaneous, you're going to have gas lines for your trimmers, all that kind of stuff. And man, there's so many different sizes out there, guys. Just buy you an assortment. A lot of them will come with 4 different sizes, and they'll be like maybe 3 foot of gas line at a time. Remember, you're just getting through the spring, okay? You just want to make your money back as fast as possible. So go on to one of these aftermarket companies, Rotary, Steins, or whatever, and get the pack to where they've got like 4 different sizes of shoot. You can even go on Amazon. I mean, I hate to say that, but you can. If you're not a dealer, you can buy a lot of this stuff off Amazon, and you don't have to be a dealer for that. But they carry these, and it's cheap tubing. Okay, it is. It's cheap. I've used it. Okay, I've been in a pinch and been like, shoot, man, I've got this on the shelf. I've run out of the good stuff. I'm going to use it, and I've used it, and it works. It's okay for a year or two. Honestly, 2 or 3 years probably. You'll get out of the fuel lines and the fuel eat it up. But go ahead and get you 3 foot of about 4 different sizes. And one set that I had one time, which was actually pretty good, and I did get it off Amazon. It had, the collars were blue, red, yellow, and clear. And I don't know how many weed eaters and blowers and stuff I fixed. And it was like cheap. It was like $10 or $12, man. And you got like 3 foot of each different size. But saying that, I've also still got some of it, which is, I need to probably toss it. It's probably done by now. But anyway, so you're going to need that kind of stuff for your carburetors. Go ahead and get you, so many feet of fuel line for your lawnmower and stuff. And, the sizes don't really, I didn't write the sizes of all this stuff down. I probably should have. Sorry about that. But it's not hard to research what size it is. I mean, just go out there and you can look on your lawnmower or something, and pretty much that fuel line's going to be the same size, 1/4 inch stuff. Anyway, miscellaneous tools. Again, this is stuff that guys, when they come in your shop, they'll just buy it, okay? They'll be looking around and be like, I think I'll get one of those. It's always good to have like an extra spark tester sitting around. They're cheap. Have them hanging on the wall in the package. Guys will buy that kind of stuff just because you're going to get some of them do-it-yourself for guys that want to change their own plugs, change their own oil and stuff like that. And they're going to come to your shop to buy this stuff. Remember, you don't have to make the repair to make money off of it, okay? So, you're going to get, maybe, like I said, a spark plug tester, the ones that's got the little light in it when you, sparks up. And those plug wrenches. I don't know how many of them things I sold last year, man. It was crazy. And you get them for nothing. I mean, they're not that big a deal. It's just it's a hollow wrench, looks like a socket, and it's got 2 different size spark plug sets on each side that fits 2 different size spark plugs, and just a bar that runs through it. You just stick in and break it loose. shoot, I keep them for myself because they're a lot easier sometimes than looking up for a socket. You just reach and get it off the wall and pop the plug out. Those kind of things. So, I mean, I hope all this helps. But, you're going to have your oil. You're going to have your two-stroke oil. You're going to have stuff for your customers to purchase when they come in. And this is just even if you're working out of your garage. I mean, you want this stuff around and upsell this stuff, man. If a guy comes in, he says, that thing, man, you done repaired the carburetor and all that kind of stuff. And usually, like say a guy says, man, that thing eats spark plugs like it's going out of style. I'll put a spark plug in that thing, every 2 months or whatever. And you're like, that should throw up a red flag, especially on a riding mower or something like that. But a lot of guys they always think it's the plug. It's never the plug. When one won't start, it's very seldom is it the plug, okay? I ain't gonna say never, but very seldom it's the plug. But a lot of guys want to take that plug out and clean it themselves. Well, they might not have the tools to do it. They honestly, some of these spark plugs anymore, man, are coming in these metric sizes and all this stuff, and why not? Say, hey, man, here, this will make it a little easier. Look, I'm selling this for X amount of dollars. Oh yeah, no problem, man. Yeah, give me one of them. Bam, it's sold. You done made $3 or $4. I'm just saying, that's the way it works. Anyway, guys, I hope that this helped you, just show you kind of like what you need to buy and stuff. These spring stock-ups, guys, if you're in, and if you watch my last video on rotary, now you've got Steins, S-T-E-N-S. You got them. These guys are no minimum order to get started, okay? You can just order this stuff. There you go. Order this stuff. Even if you have one or two of it, guys, because I'm telling you something. Now, mark what I'm saying down to you new guys that's working out there, starting your businesses. Come spring, if you've got any amount of business at all, you are going to be covered up. My first year of being in the small engine repair, okay, when the spring came, at one time I had 14 riding mowers lined up outside my shop. That's riding mowers. That's not counting weed eaters and push mowers and blowers. That's just 14 of them lined up that needed oil changes and maintenance kits and stuff like that put in it. And I'm going to tell you what, man, I made more money then than off anything else probably. I'm telling you, it's ridiculous. When you can buy a maintenance kit for $30, okay, and you sell it for $40 or $45 because Lowe's and your big box stores have got them for $50. Okay, so you can sell them all day long for $40. All right, you're doing that. Oh, grease. You're going to need grease too. Get you some grease and a grease gun. But by the time, in a blade sharpener. Gosh, I'm so sorry I forgot that stuff. But for a quick blade sharpen, you don't have to pop that thing off and do a grinder. My first year, I had that thing you buy at Lowe's that's got the 2 stones on it, round stones. Once you get good with that thing, you can sharpen a blade. But anyway, when them guys that needed those 14 oil changes come in, I didn't have no maintenance kits. All I had was a case of oil on the shelf. Well, I had 12 bottles of oil on the shelf. I had 14 mowers outside. So I done so many and ordered another case or two. I think I ordered 2 more cases. Got it in. When you're making $10 off the kit, then your hourly rate to do it, and you're greasing it and sharpening the blades. For an oil change, honestly, guys, an oil change is going to cost a customer between $80 and $90. I mean, think about it. Say you're charging $40 an hour. Okay, let's just throw that number out there. Say you're $40 an hour. You're going to charge him $40 to change oil in his machine. Now, he's buying a maintenance kit that's got the spark plugs and all that in it. He's still buying it for $40. Right there's $80. Now, you're going to throw tax on top of that. Somebody's got to pay it. If you're a small business owner out there, don't be paying somebody else's tax. If there's tax, pass it. They paying it. You ain't paying it. You don't pay their taxes. You're paying enough of your own. Trust me. I just done mine. Trust me. You're paying enough of your taxes. So, right there's $80 in an oil change. Now, if they don't, look at now, say that they go to Lowe's or somewhere and do this. Okay, an air filter is going to cost them at least $12. the oil filter is going to cost them at least $16. So let's say that they're up to what, almost right at $30. All right, then they're going to buy 2 quarts of oil, $5 a quart. They're already up to what, $40? Okay, $40. Even if somebody comes in and buys it off you, now they're going to buy 2 spark plugs. If they get good plugs, they're going to pay at least $4 a piece for them. So now you're up to what, $50? You see what I'm saying? For oil changes and stuff like that, people start to figure out, well, shoot, man, I'll just take it to the shop, and I'll get them to do it. And you can set back because you're getting this stuff. If you do these spring stock up sales, you're getting it cheap. I mean, you can get quarts of oil for, I don't know, $1.70, $1.80. Sell them for $4 all day long. I mean, I'm telling you, it's just the way it is, guys. But when that spring rush hits, if you don't have this stuff on your shelf, man, it turns into a nightmare. Like I said, when I got a bunch of mowers, when they come in, I've got, this is how I do my stuff in the spring. Repairs, maintenance. Okay? I make 2 lines of mowers out there. One is nothing but maintenance. The other one is repairs. What am I going to do first? Well, after I order the parts for the maintenance, for the repairs, I'm going to jump on that maintenance, and I'm going to go right down that line. I'm going to get my kits out, my maintenance kits, and I'm going to set them in the seats of those lawnmowers. I'm going to roll up with my 5-gallon bucket or my oil container, start draining oil off everyone. Bang, bang. I got 3 things of oil containers. So I can drain the oil in 3 mowers at a time. I'll drain them 3. As soon as that oil gets done, or while it, I done pulled the air filter. I've been putting the air filters and the spark plugs in it while the oil's draining. As soon as the oil's out of that thing, I'm popping it on oil filter, filling it up with oil, tagged, and out. I mean, grease it, sharpen the blades if they want you to. I grease all my stuff first when they come in for maintenance. I always grease everything. So you're greasing, and you should be able to do this in, honestly, guys, 30 minutes. 45 minutes at the longest. You should be able to change all the plugs, the filter, sharpen the blades, and grease it. I mean, just get with it, man. Get with the program and knock it out and get it done. If you got 10 of them lined up, guess what? That day alone, you've probably made $800. That's the way it is. Now, all that money's not yours, but your company made $800 in 6 hours, 7 hours. Come on, man. Do the math. That's good money. You knocked all that out. You stayed busy that day. You made the money. Okay? Then the rest of the time, now you take part of that money, you reorder more of your stock, and you start on your repairs. That's the way you do it. That's how I do it anyway. All right, guys. Like I said, I hope that this video helped. I know it's long, man. It's like 28 minutes. I was like, holy moly. But my wife says I just like to hear myself talk. So anyway, guys, I do hope these videos and stuff help you. I've had a couple guys even help me. The one guy said, hey, he sent me a message and was like, have you ever looked at Steins? Well, I hadn't. I'd seen their parts, but I'd never looked at it. I looked at it. Guess what? I can sell Steins now. It's not that hard. It's simple to do, guys. Jump on it and get after it. Make some money. Anyway, whatever you do it for the glory of God, or it's not worth doing, because without Him, none of this is possible. Until next time, CNL is out.